Alright, let's see what we got here. Find the minimum area to cover all ones. Part 1. You're given a 2D binary array grid. Find a rectangle with horizontal vertical sides with the smallest area, such that all the ones in the grid lie in this rectangle. Return the minimum possible area of this rectangle. So here has to be a 2x3. Here it's just a 1x1. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This doesn't look like a medium difficulty one. I mean, I think you just find the highest one, the leftmost one, the rightmost one, and the bottommost one, and just kind of calculate how big that would be, I think. So the highest one is the first row that has a 1. First row that has a 1. So if you go through every, let's see, high row, so you need to have a high row, a low row, so for every, okay, let's get the dimensions here. Rows and columns is the length of the grid, is the number of rows, the length of the first row is the number of columns. For every row index in the range of rows, and then for every column index in the range of columns. So you keep track of the first high row. High row is going to be, let's say, -1. And if the current value is not a 1, then just ignore it. Otherwise, the high row should go, you should update the high row if it's not already set to -1. So if high row not equal to -1, sorry, high row is equal to -1, this is the first row that counters it, so high row equals this row. And then if you're dealing with columns, you should always, there should be a low row where you have the lowest row where you see a -1. Actually, is it possible to have no? There's at least one in there. Okay. The low row you can always update to whatever the current row is, because if you see a 1 later on, then it's going to be in the lowest later row. And same deal with the kind of left column. Left call. If the current left column is equal to -1, then this is the first time you see it, so left column equals this column. Although if you going, actually I think this is right. So I think it needs to be left column is infinity to initialize, and then just left column is the minimum of left column and the current column. Because you're going, if you go through each row and then each column in the row, then you kind of resetting the index of the column, so it's possible that a later iteration of the for loop will have a lowered column value. So I think that's right. And then right column is same deal here, is the maximum of the rightmost column and the current column. And right column is going to be negative at the start. then just return, I think it's probably going to be high row minus, actually high is actually going to be a smaller number. So low row minus high row plus 1 times rightmost column index minus leftmost column index plus 1. Okay. Alright. So this is going to be it goes through every element in the matrix. Interesting. There's something much faster, like orders of magnitudes faster. Wow. That's, I'm not sure what happened here. Oh. It's okay, it's doing min-max. Same as me, but probably doing more than necessary. Interesting. Alright, so there's probably a way to actually go faster than this. There's probably a way to go faster. Yeah, okay. I guess you don't need to go through every single, like if you do some sort of let me try and say here. So if you just do the rows until you see the first row that has a 1, then you can skip the later rows, or you can do the traversal of the rows backwards from then to find the last row that has a 1. So skip's going in the middle. Yeah, skip's going in the middle, because the middle stuff is probably going to be not useful at all. So, we try and avoid, how big is this matrix? Probably kind of big. 1,000. Interesting. If only there was a way to do I guess I could find the low row and the high row using the sum of the values in a particular row of the array. Even that is maybe not necessary. Then you can't really find the sum of the column matrix to find the earliest column. Is there a better? Oh, okay. Well, let's try something here. So let's try and find the highest row. For every row in the range of rows, and then for every column in that range. If the grid at this row and column is equal to 1, then high row equals this row, and then break. And I can say here if the high row is not equal to 1 at this point, then I found it. Not equal to -1, then break. So this is fine, just early terminating for the first row that we find. And then I do the next one for rows backwards in the range of rows -1, -1, -1. For every column in the range of columns. If the grid at this row column is equal to 1, low row is going to be -1 here. Low row equals this current row, break. And then if this low row is not equal to man, that's a hard word to say, low row, then break this. I could probably use a function to have it immediately return. Maybe that's better than doing this here. It's kind of a jump that I want to do, so I want to this break really should be breaking out of both loops. The break should be breaking out of both loops. I guess I can define get high row, and then just do this. And then just return here. If I see it, then return whatever this row is. And this is going to get low row. Same deal here, define a function. I wonder if there's a better way that I don't know about to break 2 loops in Python. I guess I don't know in any language that does it. It's outside of doing it using, I guess maybe there's a jump command, but I don't know. Jump instruction. Alright, so there's that, and then I need to do the same thing for the columns. Get right column, and here I want to iterate through the columns as the outside loop, and then iterate through the rows if that column is in the inner loop. If the grid at this row column is 1, return this column. Get column for every column in range of reversing columns for every row in that column. If the grid at this row column is 1, return this column. Okay, so then I can just do right column, get right column, left column, get left column, and do the same function or same calculation based on that. Cannot access row. What row? Range of rows. Huh, I got the wrong answer there. Now, why would that be? I guess I should just probably print this out. Oh, am I doing the wrong right column? Oh shit. This is left column. Going leftwards there. I probably can delete those now. Alright, let's see if this is an improvement at all. Tries to skip middle stuff. Interesting. Damn. Damn. There's something. So this, my time is 26 2600 milliseconds. 1000 milliseconds is a second, so it's 2.6 seconds. Fastest solution is 2.5 seconds. Slower solution is 2 as well. Yeah. So there's some optimization here. Actually, this is not orders of magnitude faster. It's just the scaling here. This isn't 0. So there's some optimization to reduce it by another point 0.2 milliseconds, or 0.2 seconds. 0.2 seconds out of 2.6, so like 5 to 10%. Okay. I mean, huh. 5 to 10%. I wonder if I use the sum. If I use sum of a row, if it's any faster. I wonder. Okay, so let's go get high row. So I can do like for every row in the range of rows, if the sum of that row in this grid of that row is greater than 0, return this row. I guess I can do that instead. And then for every row in range of there's -1, -1, -1, if the sum of the grid at this row is greater than 0, return this row index. Right, let's see if that's any faster. I mean, it uses sum to iterate through the to find the sum of an array. Interesting. So that was faster. I guess iterating through all the indices is kind of a chore if Python has something that does that in a much faster fashion. But I don't know if there's any similar logic for columns. Unless it's like very fast to transpose the matrix and then the columns become the rows and then I can do the sum of the rows then. Find the sum of the columns. Yeah, doing a transpose operation seems pretty darn bad. Okay, this is I don't know what this is really like, in my view, an easy problem unless the difficulty is to optimize it, because all you're really doing is calculating the first row index that has a 1, the leftmost row column that has a 1, or the rightmost column index that has a 1, or like the bottommost row index that has a 1, and using those as how to find the width and height of the rectangle. So, I don't know. I guess I optimize it to the point where it's above other people's. So if that's the point of this exercise, I guess I got it. And if that's not, then it's beyond me what the hell this problem is about. Summary, well, to find the dimension, the smallest rectangle, find the row with the highest one, lowest one, highest and lowest ones, and column, find the rows, indices, and the column indices with the leftmost and rightmost ones. Subtract them appropriately or correspondingly to find the dimensions of the rectangle, and multiply to get the area of the smallest area. As for optimizations, can, instead of iterating through every possible row, column, position, can use short circuit logic to break slash return immediately when the first one is encountered, when iterating through in a certain fashion. So for example, to find the, let's say, leftmost one, iterate over column indices as outside loop, row indices as inner loop, break when first one is seen. And this one is seen. This guarantees that the earliest column is identified, because you're going, every time you iterate through, you're increasing the column position at least, or non-descendingly going through that, look through the columns. And I guess it's slightly faster to take the sum of a row array rather than iterate over their elements to determine if a 1 exists in that row. So yeah, time complexities can be, this is O of m by n in the worst case. Like example, if there, example, only one exists in the matrix. In the best case, it's like constant. In terms, if those ones are found at the kind of sides of the matrix, and much of the inner positions are never checked. But obviously, yeah. Basically, this can be O of 1 since no extra storage / data structure is needed.